Okay, all right. So we are live, and I'm going to be doing a quick sound check here. Um, just need to check to see with my computer, make sure that my audio is working. Hopefully, it'll load up. My hair looks fabulously messy. Okay, good. We have audio. Awesome. All right. So today we're going to be discussing some things. For those of you who are watching, this live is actually going to be set up because it's not only a introduction, but it's also going to be a how-to guide. We're talking about the Battle-Stryfe X. Now, Battle-Stryfe X, this is what it actually looks like when you actually have the full cosmetic kit. This is a product that is now available at the Big Blaster Consortium. Go to bigblasterconsortium.com. I am going to try to link this onto the Etsy store as well. That way I get more reach about it. But that being said, it is a custom cosmetic modification for Stryfe X. Turns it from the smaller profile Stryfe X into an actual rifle style blaster. It does not affect performance at all. None of this is going to cause a downgrade to performance. I'm still getting the FPSs that I was getting before with it. I've already tested it and it works pretty well. Now it does have a couple of quality of life improvements on the regular Stryfe. First and foremost, I'm going to point out that you do have this very comfortable grip up here, so you can actually hold and fire as well. Now, this stock, which is optional, it does not come with the kit. You can purchase this stock separately. This stock has been optimized for Stryfe X. As you can see, yeah, we have the color here. It does not latch on. What it does have, though, and what I do recommend for anybody who does a 3D printed buttstock, is that I've used a simple little layer of electrical tape, and that causes it to friction fit on there, and that does not move. So it is a battery buttstock. I am going to be making a hello there, Renee. I'm actually going to be making another version of this where this is just one solid piece and it doesn't act as a hinge. For those of you who choose to use the original battery, this battery right here, I do plan on eventually developing a cover. Because this battery is fake. I've actually removed the LiPo from the battery pack because of the fact that the connector board fried out on it. So I had to do a complete rewire on the Battle-Stryfe. On my Stryfe X, actually, right now, it doesn't even have the original cage. I was able to finagle a band blaster's cage in here. So this is actually shooting quite powerful. I think the most FPS that I've gotten out of it has been 190, but it's averaging anywhere between the 180 to 175 with a quick rev. So it's a quite the boost compared to the regular Stryfe. Now, if it looks familiar to people, it's because 5 years ago, France Foamworks worked with their designer Uncle Chubb to come up with the battle rifle or the overkill kit. You just remember what the Stryfe X looked like, because the overkill kit is this one right here. Now, there's some variances between the overkill kit and the actual Battle-Stryfe X kit. The front muzzle is the same. The top rail is shorter. This mag well piece is different. It's actually reversed. In order to get it to work with Stryfe X, I had to reverse it and I had to modify the actual inner dimensions of it. So it looks similar, but it is different. And this one actually comes with a knuckle guard. Because of the fact that the Stryfe X does not have the actual piece down here, or I should say it's a full grip. It doesn't have the gap there. I was not able to utilize the knuckle guard. And when I tried to modify it, what I noticed was that it just made the grip a lot more chunky. So we went ahead and went without. Now, this stock is different than the original Overkill kit, mainly because this stock was developed for the motorized piston pump, and I just went ahead and slapped it on here because I like the way it looked. But this stock originally came with a pinhole attachment that came down here, so it would just look even bulkier. But that being said, it's a battery butt stock that doesn't have a battery in it, because this has the actual battery case right here. What I could actually use this for, if I wanted to, was to store an extra battery here so that mid-battle, if I needed to do a battery swap, let's say if halfway through the day one of my batteries drained, I have an extra battery stored back here. And then, of course, you have these iron sights that are pinholed on. They are just three printed pins that I utilize. It's kind of copying one of Lidl's designs, where he just uses pegs to pin it in, but it hangs in there pretty well. This one I need to actually adjust a little bit better. But now, what I will point out to people is that the rails themselves, they do have M3 screws or M3 bolts here that you bolt those together and they hold down. You can go ahead and actually put some self-tapping screws down here to mount it securely onto this front muzzle piece. And if you want to break the original plastic of your blaster, you can use a self-tapping screw and then drill into the original shell of the blaster. However, I have found after several testing, this one is only bolted together. It does slide back and forth, but when you're running around, that rail doesn't move anywhere. It doesn't move unless you actually try to slide it back and forth yourself. The self-tapping screw in the front is enough to secure it down. Even with vigorous play, it's not going to shift. If you just have the self-tapping screw up here, you don't need the screw back here, but it is there as an option for your own peace of mind. So this one's going to be going up on the Big Blaster Consortium store here shortly as a kit. I'm going to be doing this one at about $50. Then you can actually buy the buttstock separate because, again, this buttstock is an add-on. It's not something that comes with the kit itself. The reason that the price is $50, it's because of the amount of print time that there is. This takes several days to print out. So there you have it. It's not a quick little print job. Now, regarding Stryfe X and how to put it together, first of all, let's go ahead and actually do a quick disassembly. That way you can see. You just take out the locking nut on the grip. Now, that slips off. And then this part right here, we're going to need to disassemble the rail. Thank you, Sam. I am. So I need to find my bolt. This is what happens when my bits are all over the place. Oh, here it is. So we're going to disassemble this piece right here. Did I strip this hex key? It's not wanting to. Well, apparently my bit. Oh, wrong bit. That's why. Derp. Let me get the actual proper bit for this. It always helps when you're using the right bits to unscrew something, right? So we're going to unscrew this right here. Adjust this for your viewing pleasure. And Sam, I am. You will get to see this tomorrow. You'll be able to feel it in hand if you'd like. And as long as you don't tell certain people about it, I'll let you blast Carl with it. So this rail now just should slide straight up. This one should slide back. There we go. This top rail cover, unlike the worker ones, it just slides on here and it slides off. It does require the rail to hold it down. But once you actually put the rail on there, it's not going anywhere. Then, of course, this muzzle piece just twists off. Let's go and actually take the side rails off. I'm going to take the side rails here shortly. And then this piece right here is really hard to get on, but once it's on, it's fine. And it slips off. Take this piece off. And this part just friction fits off like this. Oh, my butt plate fell off here because of the friction. That just snaps right off. Now this is not coming off because of the tape on here, but there you have it. So as you can see, it disassembles pretty easily. Now, one of the things I am going to point out is that when you actually get this kit from the Big Blaster Consortium, I include this piece. This piece is available that you can is okay. You're right. So this piece right here, you can actually 3D print this yourself off of Thingiverse. The file itself, it is share and with attribution. You can sell it commercially. I'm not selling this piece. I'm including it with the rest of the kit itself, so you can actually attach it yourself because, as you know, it does not have an end strike lug on Stryfe X. Now, this piece is supposed to be drop-in. However, I find that it works better if you snip the actual supports for the posts inside the blaster. If you're going to be doing a flywheel upgrade on this, a cage upgrade on this, you're going to have to snip the little supports next to the posts to get them to fit, especially if you want to do a band blaster's cage. But once you actually get it to fit in, you do finagle it. It will work. It's just kind of a pain to get it to stay in there properly. But once it's closed, it's closed. And then assembling the rest of it is fine. Now, this is the hardest one when you actually get it printed. I'm going to try to, whenever somebody orders this, to actually already have it pre-sand and pre-lubricated. But I find that adding just a little bit of super lube in here, and you should be fine. You're going to see here right now how difficult it is to go in. You know, it frictions in there, and then it twists. Now, it's only doing that easily, quote unquote, because I've taken it off on and off a few times. And there have been a few layers of plastic that have been, shredded off of it. But the first time on there, I literally had to take a hammer to it to actually get it to work. What I haven't decided yet is if I'm going to actually sell the muzzle piece fully put together, or have you enjoyed the experience of having to crazy glue? Because this piece right here, this orange nut like tip, it is actually a separate part, and you just go ahead and glue it in here, which is what I did. I added some Gorilla Glue, and that's pretty much set in there. Then afterwards, of course, I just sanded a little bit to get the glue residue off. But if you glue properly, you don't have to worry about it. These pieces right here, they are super glued in. I have the option of customizing this. Of course, it has my store initials on one side. The other side, I could probably put somebody else's initials or their tag in here. So, for example, Sam I Am. If you had a if you had a Stryfe X, I could put Sam I Am on here in small lettering, or something like that. Yeah, that's the thing, Renee. I hammer. I have to be able to actually make sure that these things survive. I test all of my prints that way because, again, that's what my brand is stuff that's really tough. So only because I've seen the hobby get shafted too many times by people that print really crappy quality. Now, putting it back together again, I do need to notate this, that you want to make sure that you actually put the handguard, the rail adapter first, putting the muzzle, or else you're going to run into this situation where it doesn't want to fit properly. So I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. Just enough to get this to fit in here properly. Nope, still not. Still not enough. Oh well. I'm glad to see that this happens because y'all can see that this is not going to break easily. So that slips on like so. And then you slip on this piece right here. Front rail, which again, you can take off the sights. The sights are kind of a pain to put on with those pegs, just because the 3D printed pegs take a little bit of little bit of muscle to work in there. Again, I hammer those pegs in there and they don't break. Um, you'll see the going theme here when it comes to doing a hammer. And then this piece slides on back here. And now I got to find what happened to my bolt. Here it is. I just twist this on right here. Now, the magwell, again, it's reversed on the regular Stryfe, but on the, I should say it's reversed on Stryfe X. It goes this way on the, the Stryfe, this way on Stryfe X. So we're going to, oh yeah, it's upside down. Put it this way, slip this on. Do not worry about this breaking. And then we just slap that on there like so. Then we take, set right here. Now you can use any actual grip that you want. I just went with this circular grip because I like the design. Now you can go ahead and put it all the way back here. I don't necessarily recommend doing that. It's entirely up to you how you want to do that. But, and that slips on like so. So it's made to contour a little bit with this actual magwell, but there is a little bit of a gap there with the railing. So there you have it. Now you do have, as I said, these side pieces. Because of the micro differences in the actual side piece rail right here, there's some more curvature. It won't friction fit properly, unfortunately. Not like with the Battle-Stryfe. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, since I've actually already completed my assembly process on here, is I'm going to put some hot glue on one side just to hold it in. That way, in the future, if I need to take it out, I can just rip it out. And on this side as well. Now, hot glue should hold some attachments. If you are confident enough in your modding abilities and you're not going to do a complete rewire on your Stryfe X, you can go ahead and use crazy glue. Just be careful because when you use crazy glue, it's going to be much harder to take off. But at least that way it's more secured, and there you have it. So that's pretty much it. This is the Battle-Stryfe X. And this is available. The kit itself is about $50. That does not include the battery buttstock. That is additional. I might do a combo deal where if you actually purchase the buttstock itself with the Stryfe X kit, I might actually make it so that instead of paying like 55 plus the 25 that the battery buttstock costs, you're only going to pay like $65. So it's only a $15 thing. I am also going to be modifying this so that in case if you wanted a good buttstock that feels solid, but you still want to run the battery, actually make this so that instead of it being a battery buttstock, it's just a regular buttstock. And yeah, because I do think that this actually looks really nice how it is. The orange does not match, but it's close enough. What I will also show you though is something that I created because Captain Xavier, when he first did his review on the Stryfe X, he's like, this panel is made to be removed. This panel right here, this was where there used to be a warning for about iPro on here. That piece comes right out. I went ahead and got the measurements of it and actually measured the little LED voltmeter here. You can actually get this out of darts. Slap that in there and just put a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place properly. And now that works. So you have a voltmeter on the actual the blaster itself. And that's a good thing, especially if you're running lipos all day long. You want to know how much power is left in your lipo. So there you have it. This is again, it is a $50 kit. It is available at bigblasterconsortium.com. And I will tell you that the lead time on these, it does take about 3 days to print the entire kit, only because as you can see, there's several different parts. And because of the fact that I print with such high quality in regards to durability, it takes longer because of how much filament is used. So there you have it. But yeah, any questions in the chat regarding the Battle-Stryfe X kit? I know who you truly are. Why have I been cooking with these designs? Um, so the reason I've been cooking with these designs is because these designs were once available through France Foamworks, and it was a limited run. From my understanding, the Overkill kit for the Strife was only done bought in person. And Uncle Chubb, he had like 4 or 5 of them that he sold at one of the actual events. And I had these files when I inherited everything from France Foamworks, and I was speaking with Joshua Franz, and I was like, why didn't this get adapted? And he was kind of like, he didn't think that there was much of a market for it. And in my opinion, Strife X and Strife are timeless blasters. No matter who you are in the hobby, you always start off with a Strife. Even in the era of the pro game, everyone who is a younger nerfer starts off with a Strife, and that's the basic mod. Worker, they still have their Strife kits available, and that is where I'm actually going for, is going to competition against the vector kit, because everybody has a vector. I mean, that it's so common right now that you can pick them up for like 37 bucks on Amazon. And that's usually the first major cosmetic mod most people do on a Strife. And when I saw this one, I was like, wow, that looks really cool and really unique. And I, showed it to a couple of people. They're like, "Oh man, yeah, I remember that one. I always wanted to get one, but I would never saw where to buy it." And I was like, "Well, now you're gonna be able to buy it from me." And then also when Strife X came out, people were saying that, oh well, we don't really have very many cosmetic kits. And I saw that people had done the under rail adapter. I saw that people did a top rail adapter, but no one had actually done a full body like extension kit that I've seen. So I wanted to actually adopt one and be like, hey, let's make this work. I saw that there was the End Strike lug adapter for on Thingiverse, and when I saw that it was Creative Commons just share attribution, I was like, I'll do that. I can do this commercially. I'm not selling it. I'm just including it with a kit that I'm selling. So that's where we're at right now. What's going on, General Strife? So, so yeah, Sam. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be bringing this to Conk. So if you actually want to see it and feel what it's like, how it works or how it feels like in your hands, you'll be able to do that, and you can make the determination. Obviously, because of the fact that I know you, I will get you a great discount on it. But yeah, that's that's the way I work. And regarding the design itself, you can actually speak with your teammate, Foam Juggernaut, regarding the France Foamworks designs, because he used to run these all the time. So, but yeah. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually glue this on here properly. Let me get my hot glue gun ready and get this taken care of. Now, the next kit that I will be working on, and I just got it in the mail today, so I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be working on something for this bad boy right here, because it is Slamfire capable. And I don't know about you, but top slide Slamfire is stupid. Just calling it out right now. It's hard to aim properly and utilize Slamfire properly when you're going like this, to aim it. So there will be a pump kit developed for this. What I'm going to work on afterwards is probably do a muzzle collet. I want to see just what this blaster is capable of, make sure that it is properly barreled. And if we need to do a longer barrel, we can. Honestly, I think that this is going to be the new spam. This is going to be the new spam body going forward. So just saying, or I should say, super spam body going forward. That way, it's already pro level performance, and you just have to do the body modification kit. So, maybe even dumb it down a little bit, put a softer spring in here, and who knows? Maybe Sam I Am next year you'll run in this at Survival Fest instead of your super spam. So, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to actually doing a review on this one, because we've been waiting. It's about damn time Dart Zone gets it out to us, because, oh yeah, it's the end of the summer season. Bastards. What did I think about the DZ Vector Pro? So Wallcom put that up on Facebook, and I'm going to be as politically correct and humorous at the same time. Um, Whoever designed the front end of that blaster goes to a Michelin rated restaurant, a 5-star Michelin rated restaurant, and orders dino nuggets. That's who designed the front end of the blaster. Um, that's what it looks like. Now, I have seen the internals of it. I've seen pictures of the internals. It looks like the plastic parts are all like snapped together, which means that you just have to take the orange faux barrel out. Um, Thank you. Yes. Where's my Happy Meal? So that being said, if you could take that orange piece out, because that clips into the rest of the body, you can actually use that orange piece, model it in CAD, and then as you mold an entire kit around that piece, so it just snaps on and you are done. And you can take a blaster that has the derpiest looking front end I've ever seen and turn it into something powerful and wonderful and just fierce. And that's my intention. I plan on doing to that what I did with the barrel shroud for the MPP. I'm actually going to be working with some designers and seeing about making that a thing. It may take some time, obviously, because Dart Zone's obviously going to give it to all the big designers first. I'm small fries. They don't. I'm not even a blip of a blip of a blip on their radar yet. Same thing with X Shot. But seeing how many of my barrel shrouds I've sold, for being a small shop, I think I've got I'm going places. So. Um, It is cool that it comes with a B car. Oddly enough, when I saw that the B car was the internal, it reminded me of the Hidalfer. Um, so I was like, okay, that's cool. Now, what I will say that is good about it, it is an updated version of the sender. And look, that's fine. I actually liked the sender. I liked the way that the sender was designed. It had some performance issues, but once you actually modify it to work, you got something that's really neat. I give Hasbro credit for a valiant attempt at basically bringing the Raven to pro levels with half darts, but the execution was not good. But if it can build upon that platform and it works and it functions better, I'll adopt it. I can do a cosmetic modification to it and be fine with it. The only thing that I'm just like, again, I'm going to give Dart Zone some heck here. They're not doing anything we haven't already seen yet. Uh, it is a semi-auto bullpup flywheel. Last year, Hasbro released a semi-auto bullpup flywheel blaster. I've already seen it. Now it might function really well, and look, that's great. That's fantastic. But I want innovation. I hate the fact that this was their October surprise, to use a political term. They should have done this as a release, as a hey, this is our toy fair. This is coming out in the summertime. And keep a surprise like gotcha blaster to be something way cooler. Because again, there you're not getting the wow factor with it. Uh, uh, yeah, I mean that's just me. For example, and mind you, this is coming from the guy who has like 13 of these on a wall next to him. So it's like I love me a bullpup flywheel. So yeah. Oh, so is it $45? Is that the final price on it? $45? Because I hadn't heard of pricing on it. I mean, it's if it's $45, then all right, you know, that's decent. I don't know if it's worth $45, and let me explain. Um, we have been trained that there are certain prices for blasters that we have to pay for, and with the Venom Pro, 49.99. That's what it was out of the box, and it came with two mags, and yeah. So $45. Okay. So let's hear me out here, because $45 on the surface sounds great. It's a great price. It's a pro flywheel, 45 bucks. It's great. The size of it, based on what I've seen, is a pistol, and that's fine. Um, why am I paying $45 for a semi-auto pistol when I can spend $5 more and get a full auto, which is the Venom? That's where I'm looking at it at. I don't know if the price point matches where the technology is. Now, if you're telling me that, it hits 150 consistently and like that's the low ball, which it probably is, then okay, I'd be willing to give it, a little bit more of a leeway. However, again, when you have the sender available, and when that was first dropped, yes, it was like 40 bucks, but then afterwards it quickly dropped to like 31. And now you can find it consistently at like $15 for a pro level blaster. I again, mind you, it is a junkier blaster, but I don't know if $45 is the right price point for it. But again, I don't have it in my hands. I will honestly get it because as a reviewer, it is my job to buy and spend money so you don't have to. And then I'll give it the honest review. But right now, for me, my initial look at the sticker is like, be like, what am I paying $45 for exactly? The flywheel is good. What motors do they have in there? Like what are we doing here? Because even when it comes to modifying a blaster and going by the prices that we pay for hobby grade motors from like Out of Dart, from Containment Crew, and everything else, those are not mass produced in a factory owned by Out of Darts. They purchase those and they're made for them, but they don't own the manufacturing capabilities. Dartzone owns the manufacturer for those motors. So it's like, okay, if those motors are manufactured and they're doing it at a cost of like $2 a motor, which is possible, I don't expect them to sell me those motors at $8 a pop per motor or $8.50 per motor built into the blaster for $45. You can charge me for the shell of the blaster. You can charge me like $4. Say, hey, the motors cost me like $4, and that's more acceptable. And do that price point. So that's where I'm coming at. And especially now that I've actually have my own store and I'm manufacturing product for people, I kind of have a better gauge as to, hey, what's a fair price and what's not. But again, once I get the blaster in hand, I'll be able to make the determination. But at first glance, I'm questioning $45. That's that's all I'm saying. Yeah, post tariffs. That's the kicker right there. And here's the thing: is it the same? Is it the same amount of quality and the same amount of material used inside the Maxim? So that's where you run into that, because it could be the price is the same as the Maxim, not a problem. I think that that's okay, you know. But if it's smaller than the Maxim and doesn't use as much plastic as the Maxim, then I'm sorry, material costs are less than a Maxim. But again, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm just like, ooh, $45. That makes me question it. I've reached that point where at $45 for a blaster, for a flywheeler, is it worth it anymore? And it's not. I'm jaded, and I'll admit it. I'm jaded. I have the manufacturing capability to take less parts, less money in parts, and build the same thing. It'll look different, but I can build it. I can mass source a whole bunch of screws, and I can download a Meeker design and print it, and there you go. It's going to cost me less. But I'm not the average consumer. The average consumer, yes, they'll look at that and say, okay, this is what it is. But me, as going back to my average consumer mind, I'm going to look at the Maxim, look at the size of it, Gotta love doubles. And then look at the vector and look at the size of it, and be like, okay, why is it the same price? So that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, honestly, it's kind of funny. Yesterday, in the Gentry chat that I'm part of, somebody and I know who you are. Somebody they kept on posting the same picture about the vector, rather than actually scrolling up and seeing that it had already been posted. And as a moderator, I basically made the threat that hey, next person that freaking posts the same picture of the vector, I'm going to delete them and probably mute them from the group for a day, because it was getting ridiculous. I understand that we're always trying to rush to share information when we see it. Um, but keep in mind that people get tired of seeing the exact same shit over and over and over again. It's a little bit much, so to speak. I love the enthusiasm. All I ask for people to do is to take a deep breath and look and see and be like, wait a minute, have they already seen this? It's kind of like in our hobby when you run into a room, be like, guys, wait, look, you know, um, and then you're like, everyone's like, yeah, we know, we see it with our own eyes. It's right here. That's what it was giving off the vibes of. And Danny knows, I know that you're not that. I know that that's how you are. You're not that type. Like you're not that annoying one. Yes, exactly, Renee. First read, see what's going on, and then post it. Because again, it's kind of annoying when you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody about the exact same thing that someone else is about to run in and tell you about. It's like, yes, we know. Welcome to welcome to the adults table. No, I mean, I don't call it the hate mob, but it's just more of the sarcastic. Oh, really? There's a new blaster? Does it look like this one and this one and this picture and this picture? That's more of my reaction to it. So, but yeah, that's what. Anyways, going back to what I came onto the live for. This product right here, I think that $50 for the price point is where we're going to stay at. It is competitive with all the worker products. I do need to find out what happened to my side rail that fell off because I haven't glued it on yet. And because I have the left side rail as well. So, yep. So Renee, is Strife X available in Germany? I meant to ask that. I know here in the US it was only available via Amazon. Okay, all right. So you and I have spoken at length before. Like, if anybody has one of these and they want to actually get this, that's fine. If I can find a trusted printer in Germany, someone that's not going to distribute those files, that's willing to enter a contract with me, I may actually open up and be like, hey, listen, you'll print and distribute there, and we'll do a commission based for the prints. Um, but right now, if you're willing to act as the recipient and shipper, um, whatever if I can sell at least five, I'm gonna waive shipping costs and uh, toss one in there for you as well. They'll just be responsible for the tariff costs, so to speak. But yeah. I know that currently, and I haven't really got made the announcement yet for Australia. Um, well, there you go. So with Australia, I know that Nerfer X or NXT Armory, he and I have worked out that I'm going to be bringing his stuff here to the U.S. and I'll be printing his files here in the U.S. for him, and he'll be printing my files for me in Australia. That way, I can actually get these products out to Australia as well, which is the second largest Nerfer market in the world. So when it comes to these kind of things. But yeah, that's it. So go to the Big Blaster Consortium, and I will tell you if you're watching this. Um, I will say that there's a code that I will give you as a one-time code, and it is, I believe it was. Let me see here. Well, those of you who know me, reach out to me via Facebook Messenger. I don't want to leave it here because I don't. I just want the people who are watching it live get the code. Um, that way, you guys get a discount. You all have supported me here, and we're going to. I'm going to give people support back. So that way, you can actually get some things, and yeah. So, Renee, if you need printers, I humbly recommend Bamboo Labs. This one in particular, this entire kit can be printed on an A1 Mini. So it takes some finagling, but it can be printed on an A1 Mini. So, but again, if you want the discount code, like I said, reach out to me via Messenger. Of course, some of you know me via Discord. Reach out to me there. I'll gladly more than happy to give it to you. Because again, those who actually support my live, I want to support them back. And you know, other people will just pay regular price. So there you have it. But that's pretty much it for now for the live. I got to get to work on doing a review on the Brute. And yeah, Sam, I will see you tomorrow at Conk. Peace out, everyone. Keep on blasting.